Welcome to another episode of How I Healed from Eating Disorders. So we were talking about telling someone and then having to face yourself and your own bullshit and whatever stories you've been telling yourself and then seek professional help. The next step that is kind of what naturally happens or what you start realizing that needs to happen, and that is surrounding yourself with real people and with the right people to support the change that you're trying to make. So there's two types of people that you may have to reconsider in your life. One of them is people who are too much like you. So people who may carry the same disorder may be an encouraging factor in what you shouldn't be doing. And the second is people who are triggering. It could be partners or friends, but for whatever reason, they have negative qualities and a negative influence on you, and things that they say or do trigger your disease and make you do those things that you don't want to be doing anymore. Sometimes this is forced because you're encouraged by somebody else who's supportive to say, oh, you shouldn't be hanging out with these people anymore, or your therapist might say, you might have to reassess that relationship. But sometimes it's just a gradual change. It's something that happens. Once you have cut your own bullshit, it becomes a bit of a struggle dealing with other people's bullshit, so you start seeing through these things. And that's when some relationships are just not going to sustain. The tougher bit maybe when you don't really want to. For example, if you're dating someone and the relationship is too difficult, or you fight and bicker all the time, something there is constantly causing stress in your life and basically pushes you back into the disorder, because when we get stressed, obviously our condition gets worse. In the first episode, I talked about my relationship during my bulimia time, when the mother of the guy kind of discovered what was going on and she told him, you shouldn't date her, she has issues. And it was completely heartbreaking and shattering when it wasn't there anymore. But in retrospect, I think that was the best thing. And then, of course, the other half of cutting out the people from your life who kind of impact you negatively is opening up your heart and keeping yourself in tune to the possibility of connecting yourself with different people who are more positive, with people who are more down to earth and real, people that will have deeper conversations with you, people that you feel like can open up to you and you can open up to them. And definitely people that will call you out on your bullshit. I mean, this is the point of all of this, right? And it doesn't matter if it's friends or family, but you want to look for people who will love you unconditionally and people who will give you a helping hand when you need one. Through my journey, the person who was most imperative was first my mom and then my BFF. Both of them did not take my bullshit, but then on the other hand, they were not too judgmental when I messed up. And you will mess up through your process and you will relapse. But I could call either of them and say, listen, I relapsed, this and this had happened, and this triggered me. And they wouldn't just look at me with despair and disappointment, but they would encourage me and say, listen, it's okay to relapse. Thank you so much for calling me, trusting me, and telling me. And then let's figure this out, And that is a really important thing to have, whether it's your therapist or whether you can find a friend to do that for you. Either way, crucial part of the process. As always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to put them down. Comments, please keep them positive and constructive. And I'll see you on the next episode.